So Madeline will read some excerpts of some of the pieces she has written. So thank you, Madeline, for sharing these excerpts.
Thank you, Tequila. This first piece is from the Creek Anthology, and I'm going to read just when she, basically this is around the turning point in the thing when she discovers her lost love is still alive. You're new around here, ain't ya? I grew up here. I pulled my ruined gloves from my hands. My name's Ansel Weeb. I set my sweaty palms against his. Edith Acaster. Well, I'll be little Edie Acaster from Kyle. You know me? Knew your parents. A tragedy when the landing bridge went out and they drowned. Left you all alone, as I recall. You lived with my sister for a while, Ruth Weeb. Will told me about you. Will. I feel like I'm being smothered. I struggle for air, finally speak. I'm so sorry you lost him in the war. Will? Dead? His narrow chest puffs out. He drops the saturated end of his fag and grinds it under his heel. Will ain't dead. He came home a hero. Lives right over there at the cooperative farm. It's the heat, I tell myself, as the heavy weight of sadness shifts to shock, burying me closer to the ground. I anchor myself against the hot metal of the hood. You're living in Kyle now? Ansel doesn't even know he's dropped a grenade. Just staying with Auntie May for a few days. Right. I recall the townspeople wouldn't let social services take you away. Said you were theirs, housed and clothed you till you left. They took turns keeping me. I'm like an extra daughter, and their kids are like my brothers and sisters. All except Will, he winked. I heard tell you kids had some crush on each other. The whole town thought you'd marry. He pulled out a dusky hanky from his bib's overall, mopped his face. A shame the war wrecked so many lives. I best be getting home. I live on the Matador Co-op too. Don't be shy to come and visit. Thank you for helping me. Looks like you helped yourself. Pleasure to meet you. Dirty, dissolute, I arrive at Auntie May's. A circle of women who have taken me into their homes sit in her living room, sipping iced tea. They rise in a rush of cotton shirtwaists and curled hair, my aunties of the heart. Their weathered faces glow, their worn hands reach out to hug me. I use the flat tire as an excuse, climb the stairs and linger over washing up and brushing out my hair. Will alive? Will didn't die in Europe? Why hadn't he contacted me, let me know he was alive back in Canada, this close to home? How cruel to let me believe he'd died. I bend over the toilet in the upstairs hall, nausea threatening the settlement of the egg salad sandwich I'd had for lunch. A huge wave of guilt hits me, washes over the anger. I hadn't waited. I married Malcolm and left Canada. A strong memory of Auntie May pleading with me, wait, don't act in haste, in anger, drops me onto the edge of the bath. But surely Will would have looked for me when he came home, asked his mother where I'd gone. And what was he supposed to do? Chase after a married woman? I descend the stairs, welcoming the distracting circle of smiles and kindness, the small-town gossip. Over the next few days of my visit, I see all my old friends, tour our favorite places, play with the children of my schoolmates, and the litters of grandchildren filling my auntie's houses. And constantly I think of Will. I'm too embarrassed to ask about him. My aunties treat me to bits and pieces of him like dainties on a plate. He's been decorated several times for bravery. He was in a German prison camp. He farms on the Matador Cooperative. He never married. I drive out of Kyle, heading south to Swift Current, and find myself turning off the highway and onto the dusty road leading to the cooperative farm. I have no plans, only a force inside me persuading me I can't move on until I see Will. The strength I dug up to deal with the spare tire leaks out of me the closer I get to the Matador. I pull onto the grassy strip edging the side of the road and rest my forehead on the steering wheel. The rattle of gravel bouncing off metal catches my attention. I watch a farm truck laden with grain in my rearview mirror. It groans to a halt behind me. I half expect to see Ansel Weeb climb out. Trouble? He leans down, questioning through my open window. Something inside me shifts, leaving me disoriented. Will, his image indelibly inked onto my heart, becomes tangible. Edie, his voice rasps with emotion. He steps closer, stoops to look into my face. My gaze eats greedily the whisker-rough chin, still square, his sculpted lips parted in surprise. The last time I saw him, determination pulled them in a rigid line. The heaviness of old guilt drifts like clouds throwing shadows on the prairie hills. His blue eyes are wide, shocked. Once they invited me into his arms. Now they darken, turn enigmatic. The next minutes spin me from joy to awe, from trepidation to doubt. Deja vu strikes when I pull up in front of his house. I remember all the times I approached a barracks like this at the government-built service flying training school in Swift Current. After being mothered by an entire town, my desire for independence overrode the panic of being on my own. Feeling so grown up, I hired on at the base laundry and exchanged the role of girlfriend for lover. How did the barracks get here, I ask, Will, as he opens my car door. He steps out without offering his hand. 100 questions jostle for room in my mind. He answers the least important.